Hello everybody and welcome to another Panelino Bambino video, and today we're going to be starting a brand new series. So this is going to be something I've been thinking about doing for a while, which is basically going to be a chapter guide. This is going to be for Fire Emblem 6, but the idea here is if you want to play Fire Emblem 6 in an Iron Man capacity, maybe you're just curious about the strategies that I personally use, maybe you want to critique it, whatever. We're basically just going to go through every individual chapter, talk about the characters, talk about the chapter. I think it's going to be sort of a more accelerated way to learn about the game for anyone that's interested in a bit of a deeper level. Obviously, you can go watch a full playthrough, and I have a couple at this point on my channel, and that's helpful in and of itself. But you may not want to sit there and watch a chapter that takes 2 hours or whatnot. You might be able to skip around. But this, I think, is a good way to give um, my ideas and my strategies when it comes to characters and chapters in a very sort of succinct manner. So I don't really know how it's going to go, but it's something I've been thinking about for a while. Because, like I said, it is a bit daunting to watch full playthroughs, I think, for a lot of players. And it might just be interested even for more experienced players to kind of know how I like to handle chapters. So we're just going to start with an easy chapter, obviously, chapter 1, right off the bat. So we're going to be getting 6 characters here. Like I said, for these, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the characters. We have 3 of these characters, not particularly good. We have Wolt, who's an archer. If you know anything about Fire Emblem, archers are not particularly strong. They are a bit better, I think, in this game than other games, but Wolt is pretty bad. Boris is a knight. He's no Oswin. He's not particularly good. He'll get doubled really fast and does not take hits very well. Also, he's a terrible class. Would not recommend using him. Roy can give you some decent utility early on, and that rapier is actually quite nice. But unfortunately, a late promotion means that you probably shouldn't be investing in him too much, even though he can, like I said, give you a little bit of utility. But then we have our 3 really good characters. So here we have Marcus, our Jagan of the game. He's amazing. This is hard mode, so you're going to basically need to use him, especially for a couple of chapters coming up. One of the things that Marcus does amazing in this chapter is that he can't quite kill any enemy. And this might seem like a bad thing, but it actually makes him amazing at chipping enemies for our other 2 units that we're going to want to be training right here. So they are Lance and Alan. So these are our early Cavs. Again, if you know anything about Fire Emblem, you know that Cavaliers and Paladins are amazing classes. Early Cavs, usually good. They have good bases. They have good growths. Both these characters I would highly recommend training. Obviously, if one dies, you train the other one, but highly recommend training both. They're both amazing. So the strategy for this chapter, I mean, it's chapter 1. There isn't a ton. The biggest thing is, again, chipping characters or enemies with Marcus to get kills for Lance and Alan because you want to give them those couple of levels. Fire Emblem 6 hits you really fast, so make sure you're getting those levels. One of the other things that I'm going to mention here, I'm not going to be mentioning supports throughout this, but I am going to mention it here. I don't like support grinding. I think if you're sort of playing in a way that gets characters near each other because you know there's supports you want to build, or if it's natural, it's totally fine. But I don't think support grinding is particularly interesting. But I will say this game has atrocious hit rates and quite a difficult chapter in Chapter 7. So Roy Marcus support and Lance Allen support. The only time I'm ever going to mention support in any of these, but building this, not the worst idea in the world. So I'm just going to touch on that because I do that sometimes, just to make the early game a little more consistent because it is sort of messy. But yeah, other than that, there's no ton of this chapter. Make sure you get the house, and the boss can also be chipped pretty well with Marcus. And ideally, you can get this for Lance and Allen as well, but maybe you can't. Not that big a deal. The biggest thing, as I said about the chapter, just get kills for Lance and Allen. So yeah, and that's the end of chapter 1. So like I said, we're going to be doing these individually for the chapters. Some are going to be short, some are going to be long. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.